Hey, Jay here. Today we're going to be talking about what seems to be one of the most popular things to do lately, and that's rebuild an older two-stroke. Nic Wright, a good buddy of mine at DeCal Works back in Illinois, has rebuilt, and I'm in California, so we're kind of doing this remotely. I helped him with this 2004 RM250 build. He bought this thing and didn't really plan on doing a full-on restoration on the thing, but once he got started, he couldn't stop. When you got an older, 16-year-old bike, that's what happens. So we're going to give you an inside look at this thing, and the end result that you'll see at the end is pretty nice. This thing came out really good and got a good rider right in the track. You can kind of see some footage of that, and hopefully you enjoy. Okay, so Nic, he actually bought this on Facebook Marketplace, and that's one thing that's interesting now is everybody is used to buying bikes on Craigslist, but that's kind of shifting now. They're actually charging for ads on Craigslist. People are using OfferUp and different things. He was able to find this bike on Facebook Marketplace. He actually paid a little bit more than what we would buy bikes out here for. He got it for $1,800 in this, rough condition. And the bike, when he talked to the guy, actually belonged to Rodney Smith back in the day. So it had been ridden hard. And as you can see, the cylinder was damaged, the head was damaged. This thing, once he got into it, needed a little bit more work than he planned on, especially for that kind of money. When you fully go through them, you find lots of little things going on. And he had an output shaft and a second gear that was jacked up in this thing. And so when you go through the entire engine in this thing with the wrench rabbit kit, the Vertex piston, Henson clutch, he does all those key components, a V-force reed cage. We got the engine apart. As you can see, the cylinder was pretty damaged, and of course it needs to be fixed. And Millennium in Wisconsin is one of the best places to send him to get him repaired. So Nic was able to get that repaired, and also Tom Morgan's back there, and he helped him find that hard to find second gear that's out of stock everywhere. So a good thanks to him as well. He did get it powder coated, and he used a shop up there in Illinois, the powder coat shop, and the thing came out just looking gorgeous after he powder coated it. So when you do all those pieces, you find out that there's a lot that you end up needing to do. And you can see the finished product of this thing is amazing. TZR is Tom Zont is the guy that actually put the engine together with Nic, and they did an amazing job. The thing came out looking great. Got W did the wheels, Super Sprox chain and sprockets. And when you look at this bike, I mean, it just came out amazing. They did everything right and got the restyle kit from Polysport that DeCal Works has. And DeCal Works, of course, did the graphics because he works for DeCal Works and he's a designer. And as you can see, the end product of this build is just gorgeous. FMF pipe and silencer, uni filter, got the full wrench rabbit kit like we said. He even made an FMF sticker to match his custom graphics. Got the moto seat cover that DeCal Works has, and everything from the hoses to the carburetor. He used all the all balls components to do the carburetor, clutch cable, throttle cable, all those pieces. The bike had some clamps, so that's kind of a cool thing. And then of course got the suspension redone and rebuilt. It was just something that's critical on any older build. A lot of the Works connection pieces throughout. He's got the Dunlop MX33 tires, which work in a wide range of different areas and have good traction from intermediate to soft and even some hard pack conditions. And as you can see, this was one of their last days they had in Illinois this last fall that they were going to get to ride. As you can see, there's a lot of mud and water on the side of the track, but that's because they've already had rain and cold, and they had one day where the weather broke and haven't had a decent day since, here a couple months after this was shot. And that's one of the big disadvantages of living in the Midwest and not living out west, where you can ride all winter long. So that's one thing that we enjoy, is being able to ride all winter long. But as you can see, they had a blast on this thing and got a good fast rider on it. Now, the first time he took it out on the initial ride, it was really short-lived because the rear caliper was not retracting and the rear brake was actually locking up. So then they had to go rebuild the rear brake, which he probably should have done initially. A lot of times we kind of cheap out, and I've done the same thing where I go, I don't feel like rebuilding the brakes. It'll be fine. But got the all balls kit, rebuilt it, and now he's got this amazing bike. And when he first got it, he didn't plan on tearing it down as far as he did because he was hoping just to ride it kind of as is. And then as he found out that it really wasn't safe to ride it as is. The thing was, pretty beat, and wanted to really make sure that he had a good safe bike to ride. And then he ended up coming up with a near magazine quality looking bike. And so with this fast rider on here, you can see this thing just rips around the track, and the bike is just, like I said, just came out really good looking. Just an amazing looking bike. and the finished product is something that a lot of guys can do. Now, when we talk about money, this bike, he feels like he's probably, you know, as far as real dollar value, he's not cashing in favors, that he's got over, you know, around $6,000 with buying the bike into this bike. So that's a lot. So if you could maybe cut some corners, not do everything, you know, it depends. And he also paid a little bit more for the bike than out west. We'd probably, for that same bike, pay $1,000 to $1,500 for something that's that rough, is at least what I would feel comfortable paying. So he paid a little bit more, but there's the market for good used two-strokes outside of California is a lot tougher than what we have out here. So the thing, like I said, just looks amazing, came out great, and it gives you an idea of what you can do with your own two-stroke build.